Hi everyone, I'm so excited to show you this journal. This might be one of my favorite covers ever, and I'll tell you why. This is a piece of antique cotton that came off the back of a large cross-stitch piece that you've already seen some of the journals I made from that. Unfortunately, the one I just made and videoed sold immediately, but there's two more coming. This is the back part that was wrapped around the back of the piece in the frame, and I loved how it was aged, so I made a cover out of this one as well. So the best part is I made this lovely little pocket here out of the linen that was naturally made with those special scissors for sewing, and this came out of the actual book spine, and I just added some cheesecloth to that, but that's the original book spine innards. I put this little vintage piece of jewelry on here because I thought it went really nicely with the colors, and this gold tone chain. Some newer lace just to finish off the top. The best part is this antique pair of spectacles that I acquired, and because I have two pairs, I kept one that's going to go into a Santa Claus journal. More to come on that. But this is tucked in the pocket here, and they're actually bifocals. I don't know if you can see that there. It's really quite wonderful. And then I made this tag out of an 1899 newspaper. You can journal on the back there. So this piece, this piece here is really cool. It's a piece of a very old map from book that was inside the spine when I ripped it out of the book. So that was just a little treasure find. So let's take a little journey through this wonderful junk journal. Inside here, I've got a pocket made out of an antique book page, and I put another one of my wonderful pearls store receipts in there, and two vintage playing cards, one of a little set of kittens, a miniature playing deck, and the ace of spades from this cute little card deck here, a 1958 dictionary page here. By the way, that is the book here. Is a comprehensive desk dictionary. It's already old, and I know I covered it up, but the cover was quite plain, so I didn't feel too guilty, but the book itself is nice and old. Again, there are a few of my tea-dyed pages. They're the only pages in these journals, and all my journals, that are not authentic antique paper. Nothing here comes from a kit or is commercially bought or is fake or replica or photocopy. It's all real. This is a 1926 ledger page, and I love the pencil marks, and there might even be, yep, this is ink, pen and ink here. A wonderful little image from a 1958 McCall's magazine. Isn't that fun? And look at these wonderful images on the back. And I made this nice little tuck spot out of another wonderful antique book page, and some little details here. 1926 ledger page that is blank for you, and there's wonderful little clusters down here made out of music pages. This is one of the poems from the book Flint and Feather, from a early 1900s or late 1800s Indigenous author, and they're very important and worthy of reading. And this is the same print that was in another one of my journals, because I had two of these cookbooks. So I was really excited to get the banana bread one, and I did make this banana bread recipe, and it was actually really good. It surprised me because I'm not a very good cook. So there you go. Always try the recipes in your junk journals if you are lucky enough to get an authentic one. And here we go. I just made this little envelope out of an antique book page for you to journal on, and a vintage atlas page here. This is also another antique book page, and I've actually got a pocket here that I'm going to stuff a surprise into for you if you were the lucky owner of this journal, which is going to be on my Etsy page as soon as this video is finished. And just visit Hyperstamper, Etsy. Hyperstamper with a capital H. Don't ask me why, but yes, you have to put the capital H. Here's an 1898 stereoscope, and this is a rare one that is double-sided, and this is a Japanese tourist card that you would have bought if you had a visit to Japan, and you'll come home with that souvenir. And this is a wonderful advertisement at a Blue Ribbon cookbook, and this one is for vanilla. You can see on the back there's just peeking through another, this book is from the 1800s, this book page. And here's a lovely photograph from the 1930s of a lake and a barn back here, and another antique book page for you to journal on. And it's tucked into a pocket I made out of a table doily. Isn't that pretty? I love it. This is a page from a 1940s Theatre World magazine. And I love this full page spread here that I was very careful to insert so nothing obstructed the center of it. And it is just a spray of single roses. And it is early 1900s from this botanicals book. Another great set of images from that Theatre Arts magazine. And that's the other side of that table doily. And back here, I put in a nice tag that I made out of antique paper, and a pocket here also out of an antique book. And this is a really great print from a 1956 print book on Henri Rousseau from Paris. That is just a spectacular image. I love it. So that will live with this journal as well. Another great journaling page here. And this wonderful early 1900s photograph of a lovely lake and a mountain in one of my country, Canada's national parks. Yay! It's so pretty. And I made this out of, this is actually the center of a book page here. And I loved how it was punctured. So I reused that. Snow White from a children's book from the 1930s. And this lovely vintage stamp, very old, clean. And this is a piece of Monopoly money from the 1930s that was just torn apart, but I just couldn't throw it out, so I used the bits, even though it was ripped. Love it. Early 1900s page from The Magic Garden that has its own beautiful images on every page. So I was able to use lots of those pages in my journals. Here's another 1930s Monopoly piece. This is one of the property cards from Marvin Gardens. Remember playing that? Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. The Emerald Isle. This is also from the early 1900s, which is a book of Irish poems and gorgeous Irish images with lots of space to journal on. I'm all about finding lots of white space when I can, which is why I don't fill everything up. I really think it's important that you have lots of spaces to write and be creative. This is another one of Pearl's receipts. And this is a lovely sketch from the Birds of North America, an olive-sided flycatcher, which I think is lovely, and on glossy paper, which wasn't, it was a big deal back in the early, 1930s. 1930s music sheet, speaking of the 30s. And I love the title of this book page that I tore out of an antique book called The Law of Kindness. And it's sitting there beside a vintage crocheted piece. And just more of these beautiful antique book pages for you. A tea-dyed page here. Another tea-dyed page. And this is I hand stamped my tea-dyed pages. Just a little piece of lace here on top of a yearbook page. And this was an advertisement in the yearbook, which I didn't even notice it until after I put it in, but isn't that fabulous? Coca-Cola. And this is a little pocket I made from a 1930s school book. And I put in a little vintage glassine envelope with some vintage stamps in there. There's 4 of them in there. And you can reuse those or just have fun with them. Just look at them. They're so pretty. And another one of Pearl's receipts. And I mounted all of that on a 1945 dictionary page. Another one of those 1926 ledger pages. And this is pretty amazing. This comes from the Curves and Eyes 1902 plate book. And we've got Abraham Lincoln here and George Washington here. And I didn't even want to, after I put it in, I thought, oh my gosh, I hope those weren't too valuable. I might have really made a boo-boo there. So I'm not looking it up. I'll leave that to you. Don't tell me if it's very valuable. I don't want to know. Here's a wonderful, wonderful 1940s junior rugby team image from my yearbook. Isn't that awesome? Look at the emblems. It's fantastic. What do you call those? Letters. And just some more stamping here and some more white pages from the original book. I hope you love this one. I don't think it's going to last long, but even if it's gone, I hope you enjoy looking at the journey. There's more to come. Thanks for visiting.